the group.
She was on before the window, before it existed. She was checking every number she could possibly do. It just
randomly. That's right.
Yeah.
Who wants to let me in, please?
WO2-EMDD-FHS. Oh, he's there. Perfect.
It was random.
I know.
Totally random.
I used to say that on my TV show. I would say, "Oh, you want to dial in with questions? The number is 905-337. Just hit any 4 numbers. I'm sure it'll get through." The other ones, we tried to convince people that we had the number 5 right now. So
for 5
minutes. To hit 5, it'll get right through to us. It was just a surprise. We're as surprised as anybody else that we have the number 5 now.
Now, I wonder if anyone actually, called and said, the 5 doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't remember if somebody didn't get the joke. I'm not sure.
I'm sure a lot of people didn't get the joke. Nobody even realized it.
The fact that they're calling in means they didn't get the joke.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we watched Joe.
Yes, and that was one I chose again, and oh my goodness,
Absolutely.
I had heard some things about Joe, but
we're having talking, and all of a sudden business comes up. Joe, what's this Joe thing? We're laughing about stuff, and then they stop us. Anita and Stacy conspire to ruin our joyful moment.
We're supposed to be talking about the movie review. We're not having just a gab fest.
That's what we do. Go ahead and teach her that.
Yeah, okay.
Take care of things.
Yes.
Take care of business. BTO. Yeah. So that was a movie.
Wow. When I was watching it, I thought, Stacy, what have you suggested?
I have never come closer to just like, I don't want to watch the rest of this movie. I really didn't.
First time porn was played in your house that you know of.
Well, yeah, I don't need.
I was surprised it was on our list.
Well, there was very few, but there was a couple sort of redeeming qualities about it. But I had to really search for it.
Oh yeah. I had to focus on Peter Boyle's performance as Joe, like when he was talking to the father and everything. That's what I had to focus on. I didn't want to look at some of the deeper, darker stuff that was going on. I thought, okay, just do that, and just think of Frank Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond. Just keep thinking of that character.
Very much the character.
Yeah, exactly. And I had heard that it was an acclaimed movie, and my parents watch a lot of shows and everything. And my mom said, "You did not suggest Joe." I said, "Yeah," and she's like, "Have you seen Joe?" And I said, "Well, no, that's why we're reviewing it." And she's like, "Oh boy." I said, "You guys saw it?" And she said, "Yeah, back in 1970 or 71, they went to the theater and watched it." My mom was so repulsed by it, she almost walked out. Yeah, and she remembers that. And I was just a baby at the time, I guess. But they got a babysitter, and they were going to watch this movie, and
that was it, huh?
So I apologize. I promise that Somewhere in Time is better. I have seen that one for next month, and that's.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about.
The first few minutes while the whole drug-addled stuff was going on, I was getting not tired of it, but it's sort of not my world, and I don't want to partake of it. And you're sort of forced to partake of it because these are the only two characters you know. And you go, "Am I supposed to like these people? I don't like him. Maybe like her. I'm not really even sympathetic to her yet." And I love the rest of the movie. I really did. That beginning part was just so waited on. I'll tell you why I loved it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lot of spoiler alerts then, because
it's a 1970s movie.
Yeah,
if someone wanted to watch it, they would have watched it.
Yeah, but it's
saving it. I've been saving it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Saving it since 1970. Yeah. I'm gonna watch it later.
So when it started, it was like the daughter is like, "Oh, she looks just like Susan Sarandon." I bet you they hired her because she looks like Susan Sarandon. But it's like, of course.
It was her very first role.
It was hers. And it was the one thing I couldn't get over is the first setting was in their apartment, and they had a bathtub in the middle of the apartment. And I didn't like, what is the bathtub doing sitting in the middle of the apartment?
And Anita, did you see the Mr. Bubbles on the side too, like that
I
powder
did.
stuff? I remember that when I was a kid. Yeah,
I was
and Jennifer, you would remember that too, right?
in
And
the
it brought that
in the
memory.
shopping or the drug mart when she was
Yeah.
in there. I was looking at all the labels, going, "We still have that."
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I was doing too. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things I thought at certain different points of the movie, I thought, I don't care about these people. I don't care about any of them. I just like that was sad.
You didn't care about the father who killed him?
No.
I felt very sorry for his being stuck in the middle of, I needed to save my daughter from this absolute. I mean, she's in the hospital and almost dying because of him and his laissez-faire attitude. And you know, I can't imagine not having that feeling. And then when he builds your rage with this cocky kind of attitude, that you just go take him out. Like I sort of get that, and I did have sympathy for him because of that.
Yeah, I didn't have much, but yeah, okay.
Not really for Joe though. Later on, I did, but at the very beginning, when he's on the phone and he's talking like in the phone booth, and he's got his head sort of tilted, and he's saying we got to get together. Like, and
I thought he was going to blackmail him.
Yeah,
he looks like a criminal kind of crazy man.
Shady. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of the very good points of the movie, was that there was a lot of tension that is Joe going to be a good guy for him or not? And like, so, and is he going to find his daughter? And then like that resounded with a really interesting answer. So I those parts I found were really good, but it's like, it took such a hard way to get to it. It's like, couldn't you have told me in a nicer way somehow?
The ending was a shocking, but bold, but necessary. I think that would have made the movie. Any other ending, although atrocious as it was, made it not better, kind of better, not better because of what happened, but more shocking, I guess.
Yeah, it was an unsuspected conclusion that just brought you to your knees in a lot of ways.
When he started shooting too, I'm like, oh no, that asshole Joe talked him into being a killer of drug animals and addicts, and he's just gonna kill everybody. And then what? The last shot? What?
Yeah.
But I didn't like the fact that every shot was one shot and they're dead.
Yeah.
No,
One shot actually was two people before he got her, Melissa, but it was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit too easy. They go without convulsing and racking in pain. They're just instantly dead. I want to go that way.
Peter Boyle does play a really good asshole. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess I haven't seen him in a lot, but I knew him from Something About Raymond. But Everyone Loves Raymond. But I don't think I've seen him in anything else where he wasn't kind of a raging lunatic. Talking about, like, when he was in the bar and was talking, I'm like, oh, is this Joe? Oh, God. Is this Joe?
This is the Joe that they named
Joe.
No.
And I know, Anita, that sometimes you do some reading about the movies after watching them, and I do as well. Did you see that about Peter Boyle? Maybe Jeff or Jennifer, you saw it too, where after Peter Boyle did the movie and he watched people's reactions in the theater, he vowed never to do another violent movie again. And actually his next one was Young Frankenstein, where he played Frankenstein and Mel Brooks. And he was really unsettled by that. And people in the audience apparently were cheering Joe for what he's doing and what he was saying. And it made Peter Boyle very uncomfortable. And he vowed he'd never do another movie like this again. So
I did not know.
So he saw his character riling up an audience on his side because they were so angry at the
Well, I don't think it was meant. I don't know. In the 70s, I don't know what they were thinking, but I would think that the answer wasn't what Joe was doing.
Right.
That was
so
not.
He's a bit of he's angry at all the hippies and stuff like that, which reminded me of Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
But he Archie Bunker had this redeeming quality that you just loved him, and it was through humor. Like there was Joe wasn't funny
No,
at all. Like I couldn't.
No, he wasn't nice to his wife, and then they even went with the ladies at night, and I'm like, what? What? You hate the hippies and the druggies and what? Oh, you had it in your trunk? What?
Yeah, when they started taking part of with the old drug scene and
I know.
stuff.
Oh,
And
but
then
that's because we're gonna find my daughter this way.
I
Let's
know. And Peter Boyle's like, I want to see you again. I'm like, what?
I know when that happened. That was he's got to wait.
Awkward. No, thank you.
He forgot everything about everything. Like he's supposed to hate these people, but it's like I hate drugs. Oh, can I have some?
But it looks like so much fun.
Yeah, sure, okay. Yes, that part I kind of didn't get. Like
I love the "Can I see you again?" I
how
love
they hated it, and then all of a sudden are partaking in it. What else? Yeah, for a while there, I couldn't tell whether Joe was really actually smart or really actually stupid, and I couldn't tell.
When he pulls the gun, he's all of a sudden he goes, "Let's go see my gun." He pulls out like a machine gun. Like, this wasn't a gun.
Semi-automatic.
It was like, and these, like in your mind, that's just not a 55-year-old appliance you have in the middle of the house in the middle of the suburbs. You know what I mean?
Well, in the basement, apparently, remember the kids were out of the house. So there's the handguns were like laying on the table. He gets out and cleans them at night. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
really?
He's a gun fanatic, but it's just in my brain, the machine gun is army oriented or gang warfare oriented, not just a suburban father oriented to have a machine gun. I don't know in the 70s if people did that. Did they own it? Maybe the Vietnam War made guns even more like ubiquitous, where a machine gun is just another weapon, and they didn't mind it. Like that's because they had so much violence going on around them.
Yeah, I don't, as an American, it would be different than a Canadian, of course, right?
But violence back then was glorified. I remember it would have been about 1970 because I would have been about 7 years old. And I do remember stealing one of Dad's dirty books, and in it was they had like topless women and stuff. That's all they'd sort of have back then. You know, it wouldn't be too much. And
We found one in our attic when we moved into the house, and it was a girl in a bikini.
yeah. So, but they would show violence. So the pages were incredibly violent. It's burned into me an image of a black man lying down with an axe through his forehead sticking out. And I remember that image is burned in my head that I was turning page. Oh, naked woman, naked woman. Now they're going to talk about a violence in El Salvador or something like that. And it's like an expose. And there's that picture. And like, it was like, I would have been about grade 2 at the time. And so that's why when I'm thinking about the violence here and the guns, it might have just been almost
part of the culture.
Part of what they thought was what you lived with. It was funny because Karina is very anti-gun, like, you know, anti-American-ish, how Americans have just this attitude about it. And she said something very insightful. She was watching some movie about the 1800s and going across with caravans across the plains and trying to find a new home or whatever. And she saw what the guns were to the people. It was their only way of making sure they were going to make it. And so guns was so much a part of how you succeed that became part of America. America's subculture life to have a gun, and that was your protection from the world.
Protection and source of food with hunting. So yeah.
So she said, after that, I sort of realized why they, as opposed to Europe, would have this thing about guns. That's funny. In Canada, we don't have that thing about guns. We sort of needed the same kind of thing, although I guess it was the gold rush and stuff happening and you know, people heading across America.
The prairies. And,
Yeah, it was money oriented, whereas here is just part of the casual, extension of people across trying to find new places to live.
so I love the part where he goes home to his Joe goes home to Mary Lou, and she starts talking about a soap opera, and I think
Yeah.
I think he called it Search in Light, which reminds me of it's like they was like, okay, we have to have a soap opera, we got to do a thing. Okay, so name of the soap opera. Well, there's Search for Tomorrow and The Guiding Light. Well, let's put those two together, and then we'll have a title for the soap opera.
I thought that was really cool too. Search for light, and she was just so earnest about it.
I
And
thought
talking
it was
about this-
real.
Yeah.
It was like Gregory Hudpeck, remember on
Yes,
the Stones?
on the Flintstones.
Rockery Hudpeck.
Yeah.
Rock Hudson, Gregory
Drew Peck, yeah,
Rockery Hudpeck.
put together.
The only thing that I read about it was that their budget was $100,000 and they made over 19 million in that movie.
Okay, yeah, well, it looked like they had that budget. That's for sure.
Yeah, at the end I thought, oh, MB must be acting up. Why is it all glitchy when she was shot? I'm like, oh no, it was actually part of them. I went back and when I got, I thought, oh, my internet? No, it was purposefully glitchy, I guess, and you didn't see.
It was a perfect stop because it was the moment you could see her face. It was
All right.
the
Yeah.
moment that you went, oh,
It's her. No.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah,
it's-
and then as it was playing in her mind, or as it was playing in his mind, when she said, "Are you gonna kill me too?" And that kept, and I thought, oh boy,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was parts that I kind of missed, and I thought, should I rewind? And I thought, nope, not rewind. If I missed it, I missed it.
I did not like Melissa's boyfriend, whoever he
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was the epitome of a drug-addled idiot.
Frank
And the
Russo.
way he egged on Melissa's father with,
Yeah.
making him, well, I mean, you didn't make him beat him up and kill him, but he's just, I mean, I know drug addicts are stupid, but he was giving people vitamins. He couldn't have afforded much more.
Yeah, and then they were lacing the drugs or whatever that's called when they sell other stuff instead of drugs and
Right.
fooling people into
Just
doing that.
giving them multivitamins. Get high on that, kids, but then buying the good stuff and watching them shoot it up. I'm like, wow, this is a 70?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty bold, I thought, for 70s.
and
Yeah.
and that to play the girlfriend of a drug addict who goes down that kind of spiral and living under the conditions that they were, like, awful young to be showing that off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well-
very graphic. I found very graphic. And I agree. The first 5 minutes of the film made me quite uncomfortable. Just that dingy old apartment and just, and the bath and it just was so, I don't know.
Actually, I had to pause the movie a couple of times and went, this can't be the right. Is there another Joe? And I'm looking going,
This is
I don't think there's got to be another one. There's a few names like Joe, I'm sure. This can't be. Wow. But Susan Sarandon's naked. Wow.
And that was the sweet part of it. Like
The only good part.
I thought of you.
Susan
I thought of you,
Sarandon's
Jeff, during that scene. I thought, oh boy, Jeff's really gonna like this.
I'm gonna
yeah, it's
some-
like boobies. Jeff says boobies.
I'm very happy. I did a lot of pausing. Yes, I paused.
screenshot.
So I wrote down All in the Family, Cousin Liz. So I can't even remember who that was, but Edith had a cousin Liz who was going to get her silver set, who ended up being in a lesbian relationship, and Archie ended up finding out, and then Edith was very loving to her cousin Liz. Now I don't know if that was the mother.
I think that's Melissa's mother.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of like, oh, she's on All in the Family.
I have seen her face, but I
Yeah.
could not picture. I mean, not from the 70s, but later. I'm like, oh, she looks familiar, but not a leading role.
Well, but that's what's helpful with the IMDb, which MB is is connected with,
Oh.
is that you can, also play it in, and then you see all the things, and then you go,
Oh,
and
I
there's
didn't- I
and
didn't see
sometimes you see like hundreds of people like that are hundreds of things that they've been in. Like, it's like, okay, they starred in Rockford Files, Mannix, and on the Carol Burnett show. They were on everything. So it's funny to see some of these people are just over and over again, doing things.
Yeah, and the father too. I didn't know. I guess his name was Dennis Patrick. I didn't know his name, but when I saw him, I thought, oh, that's
I've
a
seen
character
him.
actor. He's been in Rockford Files. I think he could have been All in the Family or
Yeah.
shows like The Jeffersons, things like that. But I do remember him in a lot of sitcoms in the 70s, and I thought, oh, okay. And I just kind of thought he was an obscure character actor, but to see him in this lead role,
When you click on his name in MB, it says it shows you the episode of All in the Family he was in. He was in 3 different episodes. Perry
Yep.
Mason,
Yep.
4 different episodes. Barnaby Jones.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
All in the Family. Rockford Files.
You know where I remember him from? Dallas.
That could be. I'm watching Dallas now. So Jeff had it up on MB. So I was watching seasons 1 through 3. He had up, and they shot JR, and then that's all he had, 1 through 3. And I was like, Jeff, I know who shot, but I still need to see it. So right now, Jock just died. So I'm watching all Dallas again.
I think I've seen one episode, and that was where Dennis Patrick was in it. I'm like, I know him.
Yeah, he becomes somebody's lover or something like
I
that.
thought I
Or
remembered
oil man.
Wonder Woman, but it doesn't show up in the list here under Wonder Woman.
Who, for
Well,
Dennis Patrick?
Yeah. I seem to remember him on there.
Oh, being a sergeant or
A German agent, I thought.
an agent.
They went to the very big, the first 2 seasons, I think, were not Nazi oriented. Then the other ones more in the 70s.
Well, it might be in Hogan's Heroes. You never know where you see and hear.
Yeah,
people.
I don't know if Wonder Woman had the list of all the people who were in the show enough that it would make the connection up in here.
Well, IMDb should show it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
It is a bit of a, what do you call it, a rabbit hole that you go down. It's like, oh, this person, I remember them. And then you find all their movies. And then, oh, I'm going to click on this. And then you're going to be there forever. Just,
It's an ADHD problem.
yeah,
What did I go to look for? Oh,
this is where I am now. So I'm trying to think of the other stuff I know. The picture was nominated for 1 Academy Award for Best Writing and Screenplay. So
I guess probably for the times. Yeah, I guess.
it didn't win, but it was definitely controversial enough that people say, oh, it's very artsy or something, right?
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was only 1, so I don't have, a lot of memories of 1970. I'm a baby.
and I was born in May 1970, so it came out.
Okay,
We're a year apart.
I was
Also
9.
May 69.
Oh,
I was 9.
She was older than dirt, almost married.
I
think Anita had her first child around then, didn't she?
Yeah, about
no,
that time.
no,
She started making soap.
no.
Little House in the Prairie.
That's right. But no, yeah. So I'm glad. I was gonna say I'm glad I watched it. Almost not.
I am glad I watched
But it did have some really like the tension. Is he gonna find his daughter? And is Joe the idiot that I think he is, or is he actually got something? And I was just, I think I was looking at one of the movie posters, and it would really reminded me of Make America Great Again.
it does.
It really did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yes.
I'll put it up on the blog, and it's like, okay, some of this stuff
I
continues
bet you
today.
Joe voted for Trump.
Pretty sure.
With the American flag and the
Yeah.
helmet and yeah.
Yeah.
I like the portrayal of the 70s. I really like the grittiness of a cheap movie that cost $100,000. It wasn't like somebody tried to put a lot of money into making a big budget movie. They just tried to tell a story of drugs and how it ruins you. And even when you think you're above it, you're not above it, because then he went and killed people and ends up being his daughter. Like it just shows the spiral of it all and how bad being in it is and how bad hating it is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
both sides of it is
Mhm,
just
yeah.
Yeah, but my mind cannot wrap around a guy who's going to look for his daughter and accidentally becomes a drug addict and sleeping with all kinds of hippies. Like I can't swallow that one. It's just too hard for me to like. I don't understand that person. Like you can't be that stupid. But it's like, okay, I guess you are.
Well, I think he just wanted to do something to impress Joe, and I did think the entire time that Joe was still going to blackmail him or take him for the money, because then he was asking how much money he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he makes way more. We didn't find out how much Joe made, but he told how much he made, and then he told how much, and he had almost the same amount of money saved, Joe did, as him. And I'm like, so he's not going to take him for his money? I still think he's going to take him for his money.
Yeah.
Joe's a dick.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like Peter Boyle could not this was not a romance with a sex symbol starring in it. Joe could not have pulled that off, but he pulled off what he did quite well.
I wonder how old he was in that. I actually never looked to see how old he was, because he still was bald.
Yeah,
he had the same hairline as he did
Frank
in
Boyle.
the Raymond series.
Yeah,
I thought, but he was probably only in his 30s, mid 30s, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see how old he is.
I don't know, because Melissa was portrayed as an 18-year-old, so then you would think that Melissa's father would have been in his 40s. Joe looked, I don't know, I mean, Joe looked like he was in his 50s, but everybody back then looks like they were in their 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. While I appreciate that it was like gritty and all that, but the 70s and 80s film is so bad. Like when you think of The Wizard of Oz, or even Casablanca, or Cleopatra, the color and
the grain,
it's crystal clear. Like it looks like it was the Gone with the Wind is perfect. You can see the pores on their face and stuff like that. And this is like it's all fuzzy and grainy. And
it's $100,000 movie. They didn't even buy good film for it, I would guess.
Yeah.
So Peter Boyle was 35 when he did that.
Oh,
he looked 50, didn't he?
He did. I don't know what it is. Why? It must be the hairline. I don't know.
Yeah, and the gray hair, and he doesn't look too far off of what he looks like now. Like,
no.
Well, I think he died.
Yeah, he died a little. You're right. You're right. Now he looks.
He looks worse
as good as he used to a few years ago.
He looks a lot worse. Skin's falling off.
Hair where his eyeball used to be.
At least it wasn't doing the comb over. But so yeah, that was something. I don't know that I could recommend it.
Well, I'm going to pick movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, because we had talked about that. So I thought, okay, I've got Elfie, and I've got Somewhere in Time. I thought I can pick one for the 70s. Oh, 1970. Okay, Joe. Oh, I've heard about Joe. Okay, let's pick that.
I'd never heard of it. So
but I didn't know.
I usually pick up most of the titles somewhere, right? You know some of the titles, but it's like I've never heard one word.
I don't remember getting it. I don't know why I got it.
Because I was going to ask you, Jeff, like if you knew who requested that, like why it was on there, because I know you get requests and then you put them up, but
wasn't me.
Well, sometimes it's for a weird reason. It'll be referenced to something else. And I've been watching a lot of British, like when I scroll through on Facebook, the reels and stuff like that. I've been watching, British. It's not sitcoms. It's game shows, I guess. And some of them are just. I'm falling in love. Like Taskmaster with Greg Davis. It's the best thing, and I'm having so much fun watching it. Would I lie to you? I love it. So I'm watching those things.
I don't even watch TV. You got the only
it's
movie
not on TV.
No, MB or I don't watch TV shows or movies. I've now seen 2 movies in 2 months because
I don't
watch
sit,
TV.
I don't sit and watch That's the thing. I
Oh.
will have it on and I'll be doing stuff. So that's what I can kind of do
Oh.
with Dallas
Oh, yeah.
because I'm
I
not.
couldn't do that when I'm watching your movie suggestions because I
No.
have to pay attention.
I know, I watch them. I sit down and
I
actually
take
watch
I
them.
take
Yeah.
notes, so I
Yeah.
never do that otherwise, and I can't. But I was hesitant to rewind. That's for sure. Oh, but it's funny too. I thought that really looks like Susan Sarandon. Boy, oh boy, that's really.
I
looks
knew
like
her immediately. I remember her from like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and
Yeah. When she was Janet. Yep.
You had those big doe eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was.
and when you saw her talking, you're going, "Oh, okay, she's sweet. Okay, she's trying hard to not be in this. Oh, she likes the wrong guy. Oh, okay, you know,
Poor
like
girl.
yeah. You're like trying to forgive it because you know her and want to like her.
Yeah, you want to like her.
Yeah.
Well, I had just finished watching an old DVD, The Death of Richie with Robbie Benson, and it was the father and mom, and the mom was Ellen Bernstein, and the son became a drug addict and watching his spiral and ended at his funeral. So, but it was similar thing as noting the desperation of the parents when their kid is addicted.
Mhm.
That's something that is done differently in different ways, but it's like. But any way it's done, it's like this desperation and this fear, for your kids. I never had that. I never had a kid who was addicted or anything like that. So I don't understand that, but it must be horrible.
There was actually a TV. It was a British TV 2-part series or 3-part series, and it was about I'll say he's 13 or 14-year-old boy who ends up killing a classmate, and it was apparently based on a true story, but it was about the parents of that boy.
Mhm.
And it was very hard. It was very hard to watch because you don't want to believe that your child
Yeah.
do that. There's absolutely both parents were like, no, good boy, absolutely
Yeah,
follows
yeah.
the rules,
Yeah.
comes home, no drugs, nice friends, good family, hardworking. And then you're going through it and going, oh, and then it takes you through the high school and you're like, oh, these kids are rotten. Oh, these kids are so bad. And the whole time you're like, no, we couldn't have. No, we couldn't have. And the parents are like, no. And it was so emotionally draining.
Gut wrenching. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really well acted. And it was a British, I can't remember what it was. And I watched it and I was like, oh, what would you do if your child was a killer?
Yeah.
You can't imagine that.
There's a movie up on there called Elephant, and it's Gus Van Sant directed it, and it's essentially the Columbine story, but it's from the kid's viewpoint.
Ah, see,
Hard.
It's tough because it's like you get to see and of course during the killing spree, they're just calm. They're just doing what they rehearsed. They're just okay. And now, shoot those people. Okay. They're showing no emotion because if
robotic.
they would be stopping it. So they have to get into that mode. It's a very, and there's something, I forget what it is. I think it's the whole movie done with one camera action. There's something strange about the movie.
There you are. Getting yourself all comfy.
I had to lay on my stomach. My back was sore.
Yeah, elephant, you said. So maybe. Yeah, watching out of control kids for whatever reason is a hard thing.
Well, as I find, I can't put myself in the shoes of the kids or the drug addicts or the alcoholics, but being a parent of a child that did something accidentally or got in over their head or was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you're like, as a parent, we're so lucky that the kids are growing up and they didn't screw up so bad, like.
Yeah. Yeah, they say it's hard to be a parent, but to watch your kid make mistakes, that's the hardest thing by far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kids doing wrong things and letting them make mistakes is just can be awful.
Yeah, you want to save them every time.
And it's like, oh, if I can only talk them out of it, or do something to make them. But it's like sometimes there's no, you can't. You don't have the rudder anymore.
I was so stupid. Please learn from me. Oh, you're not going to learn from me. Well,
it's because the kids, when you're that age, you know everything, and the parents are the thing you're fighting against, and that's why, like, it makes you even go further into drugs because you're being told not to do it. So that just spurns it on. I'm just really glad that not one of my kids turned out bad.
Oh, Jeff,
one.
I'm so happy for you.
I know, isn't that great? Somehow.
Of all of those children, none of them went to jail?
Not one was in jail, in trouble with the law. They all had A's.
Have you done your genetic testing to find out how many children actually you have out there with all the sperm bank donations? That's how you made your money, right?
You should see if there's any ancestors you got without, or not descendants you have.
I am very quite sure that nothing of that nature happened, because I'm pretty sure anybody that might have happened with, I knew 9 months after to know whether something like that had happened. So,
and I'm pretty sure I only have 6. Pretty sure.
I don't know. I might have 1 or 2 somewhere.
Might have had a long nap in the 80s and had another one. I have a suspicious gap in
I
my
was
children.
in a coma for a little while.
You
with
were.
meningitis, so
That's right.
13 days you could
That's
probably.
right.
Yeah, Jen, you were like you were. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I blame it on my brother and sister, but they didn't have anything to do with it.
It was when you were travel nursing, right?
Yes, I was in Long Island. Yes, they gave me meningitis and encephalitis. It almost killed me. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then you went to Toronto, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I went here and then to Aurelia, and then they couldn't fix me, so they sent me to Sunnybrook in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I woke up and signed myself out and went home. Like a typical nurse.
And I believe we decided that we would make sure that if one of us is in the hospital or in a coma, that we would pluck the chin hairs. So I'm getting electrolysis, so you shouldn't have to do that.
I still will come with my good tweezers. Jeff, I'm gonna pluck your hair too, Jeff.
It's just my eyebrows need help.
Yeah,
I know.
Thing that I every so often sort of trim them down.
Yeah, no, I
but
understand.
Speaking of a coma, there's a show called Life on Mars, and it's an English version originally, and then an American version came out, and it's about a guy who's hit by a car, a cop who's hit by a car, and then he wakes up, and he's in 1976, and it's him. And he's in 1976, and he goes back to his precinct, and there's people in there who don't know who he is, and they're all to typewriters on the desk, and he's like so confused but he's in a coma, and you see him come out every so often. He'll do this, and all of a sudden there'll be like something blinding him, and it's him lying on the bed with the light above him, and the nurses and the doctors all saying, "Okay, move him over, we're lifting him," and then he'll hear it in the coma just for a second, it'll flutter. And he'll go back into this life. And he knows that this is wrong because it's not 1976. It's 1990 or 2007 or whatever it was. It's really, really well done. How he's shocked that he's in 1976 and it makes no sense to his brain. And he has to start figuring out that he's in a coma. It was a very similar experience. I was sure I was in the basement of a church working as a nurse, and I could not figure out how I was supposed to get paid, how I was supposed to get my hours in, how I couldn't get out of the basement. And at some point I woke up and I had left my catheter in the bed, and I was in the hallway, and the lights were out in the hallway, and I was trying to find someone because I needed to get my paycheck. And all I could focus on, and they're like, "This woman is out of her." And Paul would come in and he's like, "What is the matter with my wife?" I didn't know I had children.
Well,
The kids were there for Mother's Day, and
I've slept walked before a couple times.
yeah, it's not a good feeling not knowing.
No, the last one scared me because I was awake enough, like I was cognizant enough that I could have gotten into a car and driven.
Yeah.
If I decided I want to go to McDonald's and go to the drive-thru and get a Big Mac, then I would have done that. Because what I went downstairs for, I got up and I'd gone into the basement because the cat, no one's taking care of the cat. Oh, shoot, the cat. I don't remember feeding the cat.
You're going to be demented.
And then it was like, I don't remember changing the litter box. There's going to be so much litter in the basement. Oh, crap. And then I go downstairs and I kind of come to, and it's like, oh, yeah, we put the cat down years ago. But I would have driven in a car.
So watch the beginning of Life on Mars, Jen, and you only have to watch about 15 minutes of it to get to the point where
it's on MB?
Yeah. And there's two. There's a British one and then a later one in America. But the British one is really good. The cool thing is he's playing David Bowie's Life on Mars on his car. And then when
he gets into the accident?
He's in a car with a tape that's playing Life on Mars by David Bowie.
Okay.
And that's the sort of connection between the two worlds for him, was Life on Mars. That was the consistency, was the song Life on Mars.
It was also weird because when afterwards, because I have no recollection of what occurred, I ended up getting the progress notes, my chart, and I was reading my chart because I thought nobody was looking after me. They were having conversations, but the doctor wrote, I don't believe a word she says, because she says she's working in New York in the basement of a church. Meanwhile, I was working in New York, but I'm in Aurelia in Canada.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in a church. There was no church, but I had to go through a basement to get to the ICU and the trauma unit that I was working.
That's where the morgue is.
Yeah, well, there is a morgue down there, yes, but half the things that I said were not true at all.
Right.
And he's like, I don't believe her. I have to talk to her husband. She doesn't work in New York. She lives here. I do, but I did.
You did. You were in the Big Apple. Yeah.
So I did say I was in New York, and he's like, but I also said weird stuff that didn't make any sense either.
Right.
So.
You were accidentally correct sometimes.
So not with it at all.
So what is this next movie, Stacy?
Somewhere in Time. Yep, with Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeve. And Anita, didn't you mention last month that you have a friend and it's one of her favorite movies?
Yeah, years ago I had a pen pal, and she said that was my favorite movie, and I've never seen it. I even have a DVD of it, and I've never watched it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm assuming a bit of a romance and back and forth in time kind of thing. But
is that the one with Christopher Reeve?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And Jane Seymour.
I'm looking forward to seeing Jane Seymour naked. Thank you, Stacy, for picking that.
Is she gonna be naked?
No.
I do want to see a Jack Nicholson 1973 movie called The Last Detail. It's with Randy Quaid and Jack Nicholson. It's 1973.
Is it there?
No, I don't think so. Back up.
Is Masterclass on MB anymore?
I'll have to find it for you.
Oh yeah, the one I really liked was the Penn and Teller one, and what's his name?
It is there.
Amy's
The
brother.
Last Detail is there.
Yeah, I thought when you said it that I sort of recalled it.
David Sedaris.
Jack Nicholson. Wow. I'd like to see him in some older stuff and see what he's like.
I liked him in Jack Nicholson in that one with Helen Hunt and with his OCD.
Oh yeah.
And Greg Kinnear. That was a really good one.
That was my favorite. I was never a Greg Kinnear fan until I saw that movie.
Yeah.
And I loved him. I did not think he was, because he didn't start out as an actor, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he was more like a host of I think he was a host of something.
Yeah, I knew he was doing, before Craig Ferguson, he was doing that show.
So I never saw him act in anything. I just knew him as a host or co-host or something. And I saw him in that movie and I thought, oh,
Greg
He's
Kinnear.
so good.
Well, he was also in that Sunshine, Little Miss Sunshine, I
Yeah,
think. And he was,
he was.
so now I like everything he does.
Yeah,
I think
me
he was
too.
also in You've Got Mail, wasn't he? Meg Ryan's boyfriend.
Oh, he was Meg Ryan's fiance or boyfriend.
It's been a
Yeah.
while. Yeah, it's been a while since. I
That's the You've Got Mail is the movie. Whenever Martin says, should we look for a movie? And it's like, let's watch this, and he's like, he doesn't want to do it. And it's like,
And the old
least we're
style
not-
computer, the old style computer too. Yeah, you've got
the
it.
sound, yeah. I thought it was
AOL.
such a cute movie, just so sweet. The name is Fox.
At least we're not picking chick flicks for poor Jeff.
I'm okay with chick flicks. I don't mind chick
Well, no, there's boobs. You had is a boy. There's boobies.
Sometimes chick flicks have boobies in them, so they can make me happy. There's a whole section that's hidden.
Yes, thank you. I don't want to see it. You can almost put Joe in it.
Oh, of MB.
Yeah, there's a whole section that's called Violet.
It's got to be 18 plus or something.
You remember the Blue movies on Channel 57, like forever ago?
Yeah.
After midnight on a Friday night or whatever, they would play Blue movies, they called them. So it was just called Blue movies. And so I have a folder that I don't give out called Violet. It's like Blue movies, but it's Violet movies. Now I realize that's not very good because it almost sounds like violence.
Yes,
It's not violence movies, it's Violet.
The only movie that I ever saw that was weird, I was in the basement by myself and Logan's Run came on.
I have that, yeah.
And I was watching it going, oh, and all of a sudden, there was an orgy, and Dad was upstairs going, "What are you watching down there?" I'm like, "Nothing." Oh, turn that down. What is this?
Yeah, it's a very famous show when they thought the future involved women not wearing bras.
Logan's Run.
It was a Logan's Run. It was,
I remember hearing
I was like,
about that.
"This is shocking."
The one I remember that did you ever get it, or I was going to watch it again? Was the television series V?
Oh,
It was just V, and they were
right.
they
I
turned
remember
out
that.
to be aliens and like
Yeah.
lizard people, and I remember that.
Pretty sure I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those that. So that's the reason I'm watching Dallas. Is like, is it as good or bad as I thought it was, or And then you go, okay, that's actually pretty good. But yeah, so the part about Jocks dying, it's like, okay, they're dragging this one out a
Anything
lot.
that's going to be like 3 or 4 or 5 seasons long probably has some redeeming quality if you watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, when
yeah,
you've
it
been
doesn't
on-
last that long without something good.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's all good.
Mhm.
Okay. Sounds good, guys.
all right.
Next
Okay.
month.
Until next month, when we can
Until next month.
warm and fuzzy.
Bye-bye.
This is fun. I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Neat.
Okay.
Okay. See you
Yeah,
all.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, oh, we can still talk. Unless they both try and get on again.
Well, I think I have. They might actually. They'd probably just pop right back on.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Ooh, now they know. Actually, this is a good way to find out if they are
They
watching to
watch
the
it all
end.
the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna say, "Oh, you
This
kept
is, a
talking.
this is a trick to see if they actually watch
You
it to
kept
the end.
talking. You kept
Our
talking."
new people. See you next time.
Bye.
Just waiting